Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's it going there, chat room? My name is Jeff Fritz. Today, where's my mouse? Today is August 20th, 2019, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. How's it going, EcoMath? Thank you for the hype. Look at that. We're going to fire up and get everybody a little bit excited here in the chat room. I got a new Twitch shirt over the weekend. Look at this. Huh? Charcoal. Love that look. How's it going, Stelzy? EcoMath here? All right. Anybody else in the chat room gonna chime in? Great to see folks. Love seeing it. Tam716. Hello. Welcome. I got my Atari hat on here because we're not going to be playing any games today. We're going to get right to this.
Musical Bookworm just resubscribed for 5 months.
Thank you so much, Musical Bookworm. I really appreciate the sub. And we'll make a donation to Coder Dojo like we do with all my subs, all of our cheers here on the channel. Thank you very, very much for that. Coder Dojo, of course, they're trying to build facilities. They're training the trainers, helping folks everywhere, all around the world, advance their technical careers. Really great organization, and I'm happy to support them with our cheers and our subs this quarter. Hey, is that Zaflu? Welcome. Good to see you. That's a pretty cool emote. What was that emote that just went by? Mayo T. Nice. Very cool. Good evening, Sean. Great to see you. So we're gonna get into this today. We're gonna dig in a little here, and we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk more about building applications with Blazor, right? Blazor is, and we're specifically using the client-side WebAssembly version. So that's going to get us the ability to do build our application so it runs in the browser, and we're doing this with our resource management application. Let me head over to the code there. There it is. I love this camera so much more than the webcam. The webcam is just, the white balance is off, and it just doesn't look right at all. So, hey, Fixter Jake, good to see you, and Ancient Coder, thanks for tuning in. Great to see everybody stopping by. So this is the resource management application that we're working on. It helps schedule people, right? In HR, they call people resources. So it's the resource management application, and it's designed to help schedule volunteers for, particularly this organization is who we're using as our case study, Sebastian Writing Associates. They help folks with a little equine therapy that might need some help, whether they've got physical challenges, mental challenges, health challenges. Oh my gosh, we want to support them.
Ancient Coder just resubscribed for 12 months.
12 months? A year! Congratulations, Ancient Coder. Oh my gosh, you had lost your hat. You got a rainbow hat now, the rainbow hat badge, complete with a propeller. Congratulations. Thank you so much for a year's worth of support. That is amazing. Thank you very, very much, and we'll make another donation to Coder Dojo. Okay. So this is the application we're working through, and we're going to get some music playing here in the background because we always play a little music to code by. Today, I think, eeny, meeny, miny, this one. This is called Indigo. Thank you for the music command there. This is music that's designed to get you in the flow, to get you in the groove, so that whatever it is that you're working on, you get uber focused on. And this music's been designed to get you there. You'll get tremendously focused on no matter what it is you're doing, whether it's writing code, studying, doing homework, or just work around the house. Check it out, mtcb.pwop.com. And I want you to thank our friend Mr. Carl Franklin for letting us listen to his music together here on stream. Drop him a line on Twitter. He is @CarlFranklin. And let him know how much you enjoy the music. Thanks so much. Is that Len? Thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us and helping us reach our follower goal. When this number gets to 8,000, I will dye my beard rainbow. As a salute to you, our followers, our friends here on Twitch. And if we get there before September 15th, I'll dye it for .NET Conf and TwitchCon. That's a twofer. I'll be at 2 public events. I'll be interviewing Microsoft vice presidents and VIPs live with a rainbow beard as a salute to you. Haha, so cool. And I'll, of course, be hanging out with all the folks at TwitchCon. I'll be teaching a workshop at TwitchCon. The schedule was released. We can take a look at that now, right? So if we look at the TwitchCon schedule, right, there is a schedule now. And if you check out Friday afternoon at 1, no, yes. Bring your laptop, coding workshop you do not want to miss. I will teach you how to build an interactive app from a chatbot, navigating all the way to a Twitch extension. That's me. I will be presenting and teaching a workshop. And if you've seen my workshops here on Twitch, you know this is something you don't want to miss. So if you're there at TwitchCon and you want to join in, make sure you come out. I might have a bunch of stickers. A lot of stickers. A lot. So, hey, Len! Thanks so much for joining us. Love the Frankers emote. Let me head over to Stream Elements because that number below me here, that's wrong. That's 7373. Of course it's wrong. Stream Elements never has this number right because people follow and unfollow, and it skews. It goes just off of what it should be. Hey, and Stream Elements, just a little bit of friendly feedback here. Working with the data for my overlays is a little annoying that I have to go all the way into an overlay to get to that data. 7368 is what Twitch is reporting. Alright, so I will save that and update it right there. It's all that easy. Okay. So let's talk about the application there. That's what I'm going to be doing at TwitchCon. I am not presenting as part of .NET Conf. I'm one of the hosts. I'm one of the producers. I'm one of the planners. We're almost done with our content scrub. We went through all of our content today. We're just about ready to send out the invites and then announce the schedule. I said and then. We're about to go through. Let me try that again. We've gone through and scrubbed the list. We have to put together a schedule. It's a 24-hour schedule for .NET Conf. It's a virtual event that you watch live here on Twitch. We need to make sure that schedule fits together with everybody in every time zone, regardless of where they are.
And then?
We have to notify all those folks.
And then?
We can announce the actual schedule.
And then?
You can tune in on September 24th.
And then?
Everybody will be happy.
And then?
I'll fly to San Diego.
And then?
We'll do TwitchCon. Is that enough and thens? I think I've got there. I think we're good. So that's the end of September. Really looking forward to that one. I have a major streaming event that we're going to be doing as part of Ignite. Microsoft Ignite, first week of November. I can't give you all the details just yet. I'm waiting for all the rest of the budget and things to lock in. If this lands, it is going to be tremendous. You are going to want to watch Ignite live on the channels here on Twitch because it's going to be so much fun. And some of our friends on the Live Coders team are going to be a part of it. I'm really looking forward to this. All right, let's get back into the project. Right, we've gone off way too far.
Squirrel.
We squirreled on that, so let's get back into this. So we're working on our resource management project. We've built this project with Blazor from the get-go. We're gonna do a little bit more with Blazor here today, as we try to put together our report, our management report that we're gonna show folks. There goes the squirrel emote. Thank you, EcoMatt. So there's a pull request sitting out here we should take a look at first. And this is from Simon. And this is a pull request that will switch all models to inherit from ComponentBase. Let's talk about what this is first before we get into this. When you're building an application with Blazor, typically what a lot of folks do and what all the demos show, I might have had a hand in some of those demos. Not that I'm saying, but I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? So this is my solution. This is all the code that we've written so far for the project. If I go down here to the pages, these are our Blazor pages. And if we choose one of these, let's choose the availability here. Typically what you see is there's a code block here at the bottom that has all the different ways that you're going to interact with the component right here, and even overriding events that you want to trigger specific things to happen during the life cycle of that component. In this case, when this component, our availability component, is initialized, go do these things. But what's kind of annoying about this is now I've got this code sitting inside of a Razor file, which isn't very testable, right? That's not something that I can look at and I can test. So what do I do with that, right? I'd really like to be able to test these things, but it's an easy sample to look at, and right, I can see, well, here's how all the code looks, right? In Razor templates, in Blazor components are built with Razor files, which are a mix. They're a mashup of C# code and HTML tags, right? So you pivot back and forth between C# and HTML by just prefixing things with a little @ sign. So I have these directives, is what they call them up at the top here. Page, attribute, using, inject, and these are telling the compiler, when you turn this into a C# class for processing later, these are some things that you need to do to that class. The rest of this stuff turns into a bunch of string renders and concatenates and stuff. But this code block at the bottom, right, it turns into part of the class, and that didn't look right at all, and puts it into the middle of it, and right, so that it processes things. That looked really wrong. Lord, I apologize. That was terrible. Hey, Ginesco. So if we can move these out into a shared component object, right, the base class that this is actually implementing, we can have that thing live to the side and process all of the code that happens behind the scenes, which then gives us the ability, yeah, look at the monkeys, thanks, which then gives us the ability to unit test all of our components, short of the user interface, right? We can go through and actually test that the classes behave and do the things that they're supposed to do on each one of these events. Thank you for the follow, Sandy Feet. You better clean those off before you step foot in here, my friend. Be very careful with your sandy feet. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate you tuning in here. So, we're going to take this and we're going to simplify a little bit. We're going to move these things over into another class, and that's what our friend Simon put together here in this pull request. So, they inherit, you build a class that inherits from ComponentBase, and you turn around your code so that it inherits from that object. And it means that our current view models that we were injecting into these things, and if you're not familiar with the syntax of this, you'll be okay. You'll follow along here. These view models end up getting consolidated a little bit. And we're going to consolidate parameters and cascading parameters here. That's ways that you can pass data between these things. Nothing else matters. Thank you so much for that. I very much appreciate that cheer. 200 bits. Let's I will make sure that we get that cheer graffiti into our code here. Thanks so much. Eternal Dev Coder is asking, is the sound a little out of sync? Is it? Test? Test. No, I think I'm good. Right? Okay, I'm just messing with you on that last one. But I think we're good. I think. Test. Test. Maybe your connection. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Cool. Thank you, Snoopaloopy. I appreciate that. All right. DB context user is testing and testing. I think we're almost there. All right. So what this is going to do is simplify those. They also brought along our cheer graffiti from the code blocks in the Razor file into the corresponding location and view model. Thank you so much for that, Simon. I really appreciate that attention to detail. Cheer graffiti, of course, is the comments that I drop into our code when someone cheers to thank them and show what they're using. Right now, the stream is lagging and you have 100 meg business level feed. Ooh. Twitch might be twitching right now. Twitch, don't do this to me. Just taking a peek over here to see if anybody's complaining. All right, so to further improve the logical layout of the solution, I would propose co-locating the view models in the pages folder and renaming them to align with the corresponding Razor files also. So view models availability view model CS becomes pages availability.viewmodel.cs. That's not bad. I like that idea. so that you can see that these are related. Well, that this is related to the availability page. I like that. I like that a lot. The way the code and markup would be right next to each other when being edited without the developer having to hunt in another folder for the corresponding file. It's nice. I've not included this in the PR as would be best done in the Git repo to help preserve the Git history of the file. Yeah. Yeah. And touched up to make sure that it triggers and runs the pipeline properly. And you can see it ran all the builds and the build tests ran all properly for us. Touched 13 different files here. I wish I could see just the list of files, right? 13 files viewed. It's not going to show me. Hide the white space. Right. But, I mean, you can go through and you can see all the files. I'm feeling pretty good about Simon's change here. Simon's been pretty good with our projects. And the fact that it built properly and compiled, I'm going to merge and get this into the mix here. Jump to shows you the list. Did it? Ah, there they are. Yeah. Razor files, the view model files. Cool. Cool. I'm good with this change. I feel really good about making that change and moving these things around. I like the idea of doing this rename. That feels good to me too. We should consider this. So that clears up our last issue. We need, we were working on schedule saving properly. We have one or two things left to fix there. And then we can move into our report. So. Okay. Let's go back over here to the code. I'm going to pull in those changes. Right? Come here. There it is. I use git at the command line because it makes me happy. Right? So let me pull upstream dev. Cool. I'm going to push them to my local instance, to my private instance on GitHub. This is my local instance. There we go. All right. And now, if I go down here, yep, go ahead and reload. Fantastic. So that code section is gone because now if you look up here, this inherits is specifying here's the class that's actually going to run this object. And you see it inherits from ComponentBase. And it's got all the things that were in our view model object. And you can see where this is down here in the view models folder. So I feel what Simon's suggesting there, this second folder that relates to some of the files in our pages and shared folders. Yeah, it feels kind of weird to have it in two places. So, all right. I'm going to build this, and no, I didn't mean to click that. Let's see what this looks like in our browser. I'm going to flip over to the chat room while that's going. Nothing Else Matters says, I'm overseas. I think sometimes at night the underwater cables get a little loaded with traffic. Could be. Don't have solid internet weather maps, but for 2 years now I noticed this can happen about 5 p.m. to midnight. Interesting. And you're welcome, Nothing Else Matters. I'm happy you're enjoying the stream tonight. Is that Mihai TV? Okay. Thank you for the follow, Naughty. I appreciate that. So Mihai TV asks, could you please give an idea how hard it would be to join Microsoft as a .NET developer? At what point can I confidently tell myself that I'm ready to apply and have a chance at being hired? It depends on what you want to do as a .NET developer. There's folks that are consultants that go out and help implement solutions as .NET developers. There's folks who help build the .NET framework. There's folks that help build other tools that write in products at Microsoft that use .NET. So it depends on what you want to come in at. If you want to come in as a consultant, you should be pretty skilled. You should consider yourself not just a senior developer, but a somebody who's written articles, somebody who knows and has contributed to open source projects and has some feeling about that. If you want to come in and work on a product, you should be contributing to open source projects on a regular basis. Or something bigger, right, than just what it is that you're doing at your organization. You should be considered as a very, very competent developer. And if you want to be on the teams building .NET, you need to be an MVP or more significant. Thinking about knowing how to interact with APIs, frameworks, and building those things. You need to be very comfortable building frameworks and testing them. That is not for the light of heart. There are folks on the .NET teams that have their PhDs, and they are brilliant folks. They quite literally, they are some of the smartest people in the world building the frameworks that you rely on. And I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. I don't want dumb people building tools that I use every day. You know what I'm saying? Gosh, if dumb people were building the tools I was using every day, my gosh, my toaster would burn my fingers off every time I drop a piece of toast in there. You know what I mean? You don't want that. You want to be able to rely on, and especially stuff that's high-tech. High-tech stuff that you need to rely on, that you want solid and great performance. You want to make sure that the best people are building it. So, you can always take a look at the requirements on the careers website for Microsoft, and there's descriptions as to what they're looking for some of those positions. If you're just you're leveling up your skills, look at getting in as a consultant or a technical service professional. I think they call it a TSP. Take a look at that. That's a great way to get your foot in the door. And if you want to look at moving into products, as you advance your knowledge and get that support from the organization, you can start looking at getting into product creation. Snoopaloopy says, I created a drag and drop event calendar in Blazor over the weekend. Nice, Snoopaloopy. Oh my. That sounds pretty cool. I'd love to hear more about that. You can refactor it and share it if that's something I'd like to use. Do you have a link or something that you can share with us? I'm happy to share and take a look at your project. That sounds really cool. Exciting. Thanks so much to our new followers. Is that Dita Ludak, and is that Shy Quinn? Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. Stelzy says a good way would be code something Microsoft wants to buy. Take, for example, Xamarin and Miguel Diacaza. Of course, yes.
Educa just subscribed.
Oh my gosh. Is that Ed Euchre or is that EDU Cure? Let me know how to pronounce that. Thanks so much for bringing your Twitch Prime subscription to us here on the channel. Of course, Twitch Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you can connect it to your Twitch account. Just click that button right above my head, and you can then get one free subscription anywhere you'd like on Twitch. If you decide to use it here, I'll make a donation this quarter to Coder Dojo, and you're going to get 17 emotes, and you'll get the right to throw emotes at my face. Oh, yeah, you can. Every emote that subscribers drop in the chat room flies by the screen. You've seen them go by here. Thanks so much. It's Edu from Eduardo. Okay, cool. So that would be Edu Cure. All right, I'll work with that. Snoopaloopy says, I don't have it on GitHub at the moment. Try to have it available for the next stream. Terrific. Thank you so much, Snoopaloopy. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing that, because drag and drop interactions in the browser are something that I think really makes the web more than just interactive documentation. The fact that I can drag something and move it around, right, takes it to that next level of interaction. Really nice. It's Mihai TV's name is actually a pun on the name Mihai. Ah, ha ha! Nice. I see what you did there. All right, let's take a look at our availability screen here. This is where we were having a little bit of a problem with the save issue last time. Let's see if we can fix this, get this done, and get over to our report that we're working on. I really need to, I gotta finish moving my green screen over here so that I can expand this out a little bit. It's cut off. All right, if I open up the thing there a little bit, you end up seeing the corner of the screen. It's because the camera's at an angle to me here. But my hand, every time I put my hand up, my fingers get cut off. Anyways. There's a lot to manage with accessibility for drag and, says EcoMath. I'm assuming you're referring to drag and drop being accessible. Yes. And there are ways to make those to make those two things live together well. But for those 80 to 90% of folks that can have that richer experience, I don't want to deprive them of that. I want to be sure we offer a sensible alternative without preventing cool features from being available to folks. So, very good points from EcoMath. We do want to make sure we consider accessibility, especially considering that we're building something for an organization that supports folks that have some challenges, right? Okay, so this should be loading properly, right? Yeah. Okay. So it's loading. I have time slot objects. Time slots in our domain model are those it's from this time to this time I have this thing going on, right? That's a time slot. So if there's on the 17th, right? Did you see that when I load the page, it didn't paint the 17th with the time slot information, nor when I click the 17th did it show the time slot, right? So I know that there's something on the 17th. I know there's something there. I know it's there, but it's not showing it. If I flip-flop back and forth, it finds it and shows it. Hey, Copper Beardy, can't fall asleep tonight. Copper Beardy, are you kidding me? Wow. Can't fall asleep tonight. Thought you'd pop in for a bit. So you came here so I would put you to sleep. Are you kidding me? The nerve of Copper Beardy. Great to see you, my friend. Thanks so much for tuning in. Oh my goodness. All right. So let's start with looking at this refresh issue. It's loading the data, but not painting the schedule appropriately, right? So after I get the data from my service that has that time slot data, and you can actually see it. Let me go back into the deal here, into the developer tools here. Let me refresh this so you can actually see when it's querying that data, right? I'm going to open this up just a little bit so you can see it. So there it's loading information about the user who's logged in. There it comes. Here's where it's loading the data about the schedule, right? And if I look at the response, you can see here's the schedule. Here's the schedule item that was submitted. And we're actually still having a problem with the date not being saved properly. But it's in this JSON format. I have a name for the event, when it starts, when it ends, and there's a duration field here. That feels like a little overkill to be passing that back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Because I've already got the duration because I have the start time and end time. Pick one, Jeff. And status. Is it you're available during that time or you're not available during that time? So I feel like when it comes time to start really crunching down serialization, how much data we're passing over the wire, we may want to remove one of these two fields, right? Hey, get back here. Right? Between end date time and duration, I don't think we need both of those. We can probably get away with just one. You know what I mean? Last time we tried Blazor, it was in Preview 4. Preview 8 is pretty nice. Pretty nice. I give insomnia to Eastern EU C# lovers. Oh my goodness.
Do it!
Stay awake! Stay awake. Don't fall asleep on me. Alright. Folks in the Eastern EU, sure, but then there's folks in Australia and Tokyo that are just waking up and joining us. The preview tab is useful for reading that JSON. Yeah, it's a little bit better. You're right. That's a good point. Thank you. Right? Between these two fields, we can probably nuke one of those two, right? We don't need all of it. But honestly, thinking out loud, the headers show that Hey. We don't even have compression turned on yet. When we turn on compression in the response, we're not going to really care. It's going to be compressed, it'll be small, and we might be artificially simplifying that, you know? So, but okay, the data's being sent back, and it doesn't actually paint and update the screen properly until I page back and forth like that and trigger the event that says, oh, there's data here, right? And clicking this isn't refreshing this. This was something we had built a while ago when everything was running on the server. Now that things are running in the client, not so much. So let's see if we can figure out where that is, where it's not updating properly. So I'm going to start with our availability here. Ooh, we're going to end up getting and dealing with that one. I know it. Okay, so this references the availability view model. This is the class that is actually going to fetch and present that stuff. So here, on initialized async, this is what fires when that control is painted on the screen. It calls this method expand schedule. And when I look at that, it fetches the time slots from the schedule repository, which is actually a web service, an API service, sitting over a RESTful service, sitting on an ASP.NET Core server. It could be living somewhere else. It could be an Azure function. It could be some other HTTP accessible endpoint. It could even be directly accessing the database, which is probably a bad idea since this is running inside of a browser. Nonetheless, we'll figure this one out. So it's going to go get those time slots. We're going to add the range, and I have some information here, and then I say this state has changed, right? And that's just a notification to the page that says, oh, okay, I'm done loading everything. Go repaint stuff. But it's clearly not repainting everything properly. There is an event. Follow me, chat room. There is an event that is being used in this day picker. This is the actual calendar view, and I really think this is going to end up being down in shared because we're going to end up sharing it between pages. But this is the calendar. And this, when we look at this one's component, right? It should be listening for something on my schedule state here when the selected date changed, right? Because there's this event here. This schedule state is a common object that's shared between the various components that manages the state of the page. It's a common state. We're stashing variables in here that we're passing back and forth. And, right, my expand schedule here doesn't do anything. This is I need to get rid of this. This isn't, right? Where's that being called? Yeah, nothing's happening here. So, no gritty. Yeah. I know. I keep changing that index, and it won't rename it, right? So if it's a thing with Windows, right? So I renamed it. It's going to go back. It'll change back. I know it will. See? Look, it's not a change it's detected. What is that? Right? That's down in, let's see if we can find it real quick. Because I agree with you. I totally agree with you. This one, and it's in pages. See? Now it looks fine. It won't after we commit it. Okay. All right. Peace has been restored. I hope so. So, what I worry about, crumbs. Here, this needs to listen for that event in my schedule state. Right? So I'm receiving my schedule state, and I want to listen for selected date changed. not even selected date changed. It's like the date has been loaded, you know? The schedule's been loaded. Maybe I need a schedule loaded event that I can trigger and force everything to reload when it's done. You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. You know what I mean. This is being called where? Schedule updated. Re-expand the schedule here. This is going to have to be a thing here. This is going to have to do this here. Going to take a look back over here on the chat room. Oh, EcoMath sees what's going on. Please, help me out, EcoMath. Let me know, man. You've been a huge help on this. Drexel Dave says, way off topic. Did you go to Drexel Dave? Here in the Philadelphia area? Let me know. You learned a ton going through the ASP.NET Core 2-hour, 8-hour tutorial. There's 2 of them out there. Let me know. Am I going to do a 3.0 version of that? If so, will it be available on YouTube? You betcha we're going to do one. Oh, yeah. I've actually been asked to do an advanced one, and I'm trying to figure out when would be a good time to do that, because I'm running out of time here in August. September is going to be a mess because we are plowing into that TwitchCon event, and I have goodies that I'm putting together for the Live Coders team. And when I say goodies, I mean swag, not just jersey, but swag. I'm putting together a meetup too. I've got the 2 conferences that I'm running there. I'm actually running 5 conferences this fall. Oh, 5 running, speaking at, because I've got TwitchCon, .NET Conf, Ignite, Tech Bash here in the Pennsylvania Poconos, and I popped my P's really good there. Pop. Anyways, and what's the last one? Dev Intersection in Las Vegas. So, you went to Drexel in Philly. Awesome. You know what I mean there, Vern. Thank you. Very, very busy. Very busy. I'm trying to get that in. I'm thinking if I do an ASP.NET Core 3 version of that, it will be in early October. There are official documents and official videos that are being produced right now that'll be made available. I am not in those videos, but I will be doing another live workshop. Can I say anything about Tech Bash? It's happening in November. I'm giving one of the keynotes. I will be talking about ASP.NET Core 3.1 at the event, because ASP.NET Core 3.1 is scheduled to come out in November. I will be talking about Visual Studio and how to be productive with Visual Studio at the event. I have a keynote and 2 sessions. I'll be around for happy hour, and I'll be around for a bit of the fun in the evening for sure. Darn Skippy.
It can be done exactly how I want it.
Exactly how I want it.
The only question is, are you the man to do it?
Darn Skippy, I'm the right guy to do it, and that's what I'm going to do. So, Tech Bash is nice. It's a smaller conference right now. They get a couple hundred folks to come out to it. It's growing. There's some really great speakers at it. And it's fun. It's at the Kalahari. There's a huge water park, indoor water park that you can go and have a great time at. I love the Kalahari events. So, Breaking Bad for the win, says Snoopaloopy. Oh, because I know how to load Breaking Bad in there because...
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
Very particular.
Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
Of editing and resplicing audio together. Can't wait for that 3.0 workshop. Whenever people ask me core questions, you have to pop open your Trip Tracker code. Nice. So that was Trip Tracker. That was what we did last year. There's a 2.2 version that we did just a few weeks ago here on stream. That one's available as well on YouTube. There's a lot of great stuff in those. All right? Because let me tell you,
Well, do your best.
I did my best. Thank you, Headley. Okay.
You're amazing. You figured this all out already.
I did. All right. So these expand schedules here, right? When the schedule's updated, it calls expand schedule. I have a feeling... tell me, EcoMath. Hey, Lily Hazel. EcoMath. I feel like, right, there's an order of events thing that's happening here where it's loading up and we need to notify these components, hey, go reload yourself. There's data here. You need to repaint. Right? So it's in... Not there. Here. Right, this is where it's loading, and it's in expand schedule, and I don't like that name. I mean, I'll live with it for right now, but but inside, right, this right here. I want to refactor this because right now I'm accessing this time slots object directly and modifying it. So let's do this. So my schedule state is this shared schedule state object, right? And here's that time slots list. It's a read-only list, but read-only just means you can't replace the list. You can add and change things in the list, but you can't replace this object with another object. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a method. And part of me says, let's make this protected so that it's not accessed by these other, right? .razor, no, I don't want it there. I do want it there. Rats. Okay. Public void add time slots. The way I write time slots makes me think of slot machines. You know? I'm going to add an IEnumerable. That's a forward-only collection of time slot objects. And we'll call this new time slots. You know what? I'm going to change this. I'm going to make this set time slots. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to say time slots dot clear time slots dot add range new time slots. And then no, it's more of a
And then?
no, not even that one.
And then?
There we go. I want to raise some sort of event. I want to notify and be like, hey, this thing... Yeah, right? This thing happened. So I'm going to add an event here, right? So that folks can listen for this and we can do something about it, right? So there's the onSelected date. Selected date changed args, right? This event. I'm going to add another one here. Public event handler, right? This is, we're notifying other things that are listening. Something happened here. You need to know. Time slots changed. Args, right? And we'll call that on time slots changed so that we can do something about that. So I'm going to create a public class here, and I'll use the snippet. Oh, that didn't work. Didn't look as nice as what I wanted. And this is time that we should have the same capital. Time slots changed args. Time slots, yeah, sure. Right? And I'm not even sure what should be in this yet. What arguments we're going to pass along there. Hey, Rambling Geek, good to see you. Wonder if I try counting squirrels instead of sheep. I may fall asleep. Copper Beardy!
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
I'm the dude, not the guy that's going to put you to sleep. I'm not the Sandman. Man. Okay? So, I'm now going to say... right? On time slots changed, invoke, right? I'm going to pass in some sender. I don't have a sender, and some new time slots changed args, right? So I'm notifying, hey, this thing happened. The question mark dot says only do this if somebody's listening. There you go. Count those squirrels. Go ahead. Try and make a tower of squirrel emotes. Let's see. You know how to make a tower. You go 1 emote, then 2 emotes, then 3 emotes, then 4. So they stack as you put them into the chat room. All right. So now I've got this event that'll fire when I add those time slots. So now back over in, hey, in my availability view model, after I load those, I don't even want to, I want to say, right? Set time slots, fetch time slots, which will now notify everything that's listening. Hey, this thing happened. So back over here in Daypicker view model, right? I'm going to say, where's the events? Show me the events. on time slots changed, right? I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna do this as an anonymous function here, right? So this is gonna be object and args, right? And all I'm gonna do is say this dot state has changed, right? Force it to refresh so that it repaints the screen, and I'll do the exact same thing inside of the day picker. This should be listening. There it is. Wait a sec. That's the same one. I'm amazing. I figured it out. No. So I need the day view, right? So we can force this one to refresh when that event happens. Right. On parameter set. On selected date changed. This state has changed. I'm going to do the same thing. Yeah. On time slots changed. Right, obj, args, I'm not even using those things. Right, this state has changed. Right, force it to refresh, repaint the screen, go get the thing, do the do. All right, and my schedule state should be injected right here. All right. Let's see if that worked. How's it going there? My emotions are running high, says DB context user. Wow. Okay, that was a bad joke. Okay. Tried for 2 hours, no go, so came back on. Okay. Read a boring book that usually knocks me right out. You know what I find? Read the C# specifications. In fact, I'll go you one better. Our friend John Skeet read the C# specifications by a roaring fire. That'll put you to sleep. Yes, he did. Right? Reading C# spec by fire. There it is. It's on YouTube. That's our buddy John Skeet. It's a thing. There's the link for you. Oh yes, it's like an hour of him reading C# specification. There you go, look at that, it refreshed that properly. And if I click this deal, okay, so I'm still not getting it to paint the day, but when I loaded, it painted these properly, right? It took a second or two there. Rambling Geek says, I think C# is the only streamer that doesn't take a break. He's a machine. I must break you. They've improved me. I've gotten better. I've gotten stronger. I am a full-time Twitch streaming machine. No. We're planning on building events. Code Warrior, hello. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for joining us. I hope things are going well for you, Code Warrior. It's been a while since we've seen you. I bet he's the life of the party. Who? Me? No. John Skeet. No. Me? No. Who? Me? I
drink and I know things.
I do. A little bit. A little bit and a little bit. So why isn't this loading? Let's see if we can figure that out. So I'm going to go F12 so I can take a look at the console, see if I have anything funky popping up here. No. These things here where you see it says WASM, my schedule state, that's me doing a console write line from inside a Blazor app. Think about this. When you build your first .NET app, when you build your first any kind of app, right, you do it writing typically a command line app, right? And you say console write line in C# or VB, that's how we get to it. We say console.writeLine, and it writes something out to the console, to the command line. But when you do console write line inside of Blazor, it knows it doesn't have a command line. It knows you mean this console. This! That's pretty cool, because I can use the same thing that I already know how to do, but it shows up where I expect it to because it knows it's in the browser environment. That makes me feel good. You know what I mean? Going great. Great to see you then. Thanks so much, Code Warrior. Hanging at the bar, pulls out a C# book and starts reading it, says Drexel Dave. Drexel Dave, if you do that in Philly and you're not on North 3rd Street, you're going to get punched. Breaking out a C# book in the bar. Drexel Dave says, John Skeet should have a series of those videos. In one he reads by the fire, another he reads on a roller coaster. That might be interesting. We're ramping up to do reading streams here. You might have noticed I've got a little bit of a radio voice. I'm going to read The Invisible Man. We'll perform it live here, and I would say perform because I'm reading it. You'll see the text next to me when I read it. There's a test stream on YouTube, a test recording, but we'll read it live here, but I'll be performing. I may stop, I may restart. We'll edit it, publish the video on YouTube, and strip the video out and make it available as an MP3 if you want to listen to it on your phone. So I'm starting with The Invisible Man. We're going to be reading some public domain books that are interesting.
Svava Blunt just resubscribed for 11 months.
Wow! Svava! 11 months! 11 months? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I can't believe it. That is so awesome. Thank you very, very much for that. It's
Inconceivable!
No, it's not. It's not inconceivable.
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
You have no idea what you're dealing with. Svava is the Uber moderator. If you hang out in a chat, in a channel where she's a moderator, she takes no prisoners. She don't mess around. Okay? Svava is phenomenal. Thank you so much for being such a great member of our community. And 11 months, I really appreciate that. Wow. We'll make another donation to Coder Dojo. All right.
You're about to get a serious beatdown.
Junie Von Esch is here. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying the Junie Von Esch is here. I gotta do something real quick. Hang on. Can you give me a second here? There's a thing. Let's do this. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna throw a VIP on Junie because I troll her so much on her streams at night. She does all kinds of they call that threading crafts. Whether it's cross stitch, she's been making hats for kids. I think I'm not quite sure. Fiber crafts. But I like to stop by and say hello and enjoy a fine adult beverage or two when she's streaming. If you catch me when Junie's streaming, I am a little bit of an audible troll over there. A bit. Janescu, she's promised to send a hat over here, yes. Okay, so this is properly now refreshing, right? So I've got this event now that knows I loaded the data, go refresh and paint the calendar right up there. I need to finish and figure out why it's not loading the day calendar when I click on that, right? So there's an event that triggers here that says selected date changed when I click this, right? And it's triggering this thing.
2 Wolf Design just resubscribed for 4 months. C# bot C# do the thing.
Thank you so much, 2 Wolf. I appreciate that very, very much. And we'll make another donation to Coder Dojo. Thanks so much for throwing those emotes at my face.
Wait, let me explain something to you.
It's a lot of fun to have folks subscribe. It's not something that I need. I'm flattered that you would do that, but I'm going to pay it forward, and I'm going to help some folks at Coder Dojo in places that need our help. So, have a good one, Rambling Geek. Great to see you. Thanks so much for stopping by. I know it's late in your time zone, and I appreciate everybody who's dialing in late in their time zone, and the folks that are waking up and joining us in Australia and Eastern Asia. Welcome. Thanks so much for tuning in this morning, or whatever time it is that you may be at, or right.
It's illegal in 9 countries.
I'm illegal in 9 countries. Fortunately, you're not watching me in one of them. Okay. So I got to figure out why this isn't loading. Okay. So when I click on a date, so I really need to rename this. Date Picker is such a terrible name was the calendar. But it's not just a calendar. It's like actually click on this date and pick something. It's not. Right. Go to today. So that goes to today. But on click of each one of these, my schedule states select date, display info this day, right? And it updates and sets the selected date here. So this, I'm pressing F12 and it's not going there. You fool! I'm going to find select date. So this is the method that it's calling, right? When I click on a date, it's going to call this. Select a date and whatever date it is that I clicked on. And it sets that date, and here it's doing that same on selected date change, right? Here's that event. Go find that event, right? Tell everybody that's listening to this event, hey, it happened! Invoke it, and here's the date that was selected. So, if I look at the day view model, day view, on parameters set, I think that's the one I want. So on selected date changed, it's calling state has changed. I don't know if this one's working either. Like, we're really pushing the state has changed thing here, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna change this just for pups and giggles. I'm gonna try changing this to it doesn't work. On initialized async. Let's see if we can get it to. Hey, what the? I broke my keyboard! I hit that control space too hard. And the control key popped off. Okay. So, do all these. And this should be base on initialized async. And I should await that, shouldn't I? Like that. Ha! Okay. I don't need to call that. So this is basically wiring up that says, hey, when the selected date changed, when the time slots changed, I don't think we're going to need this one. Let's see what it does. Moose Boydie. Words. Moist Booty Boy. Easy for me to say. Thanks so much for joining us. Dumb question. What is the command for my YouTube? YouTube? Or you can ask. Yeah, like Janescu did. What are the start and end times of the item in the schedule? Well, yeah, there's that too. What do I got? What happened here? My watch is telling me I need to breathe. Let's see. Joseph Scott Stevens. Microsoft trying to make their own JavaScript. Completely disagree. Microsoft has already made TypeScript. And TypeScript is so successful that the Angular team at Google has embraced it as the preferred way to write Angular. So they've already extended and improved JavaScript by making TypeScript. Blazor is just a way for folks that are familiar with .NET to compile and run applications in the browser using WebAssembly. WebAssembly is a standard. Go, Rust, C++, other languages compile to WebAssembly. So the fact that .NET folks can compile to WebAssembly, that's pretty cool. This is something that gives other folks an opportunity to program for their browser without having to learn another language, right? Don't get me wrong. I think it's pretty important that folks learn JavaScript. But WebAssembly running in the browser is a very powerful technology. There's a lot that we're going to see happen with that. All right, so I clicked that. It sure looks like this should have run, and it didn't. Right? I feel like there's something missing there. Right? Like, I can't tell if it's actually refreshing this. Go in Python does it as well. Yes. It does. So, there are folks. Good point, Janescu. There are folks who have used Unreal Engine and they've ported Doom to run on WebAssembly. Doom. Right, and now we can measure the size of web pages in dooms. Have you tried? Check this out. Have you seen this one? I got to show you this one. This is amazing. Check this out. Diablo WebAssembly. Somebody rewrote Diablo using WebAssembly. Okay. Block. Come on, where is it? And it's on GitHub. Right? Look at this. Yeah, oh. Could you loan some more ads? There you go. Check this out. So you can go ahead and play this. And this is all running in the browser. Oh yeah, that's right. This is Edge. Okay. Thank you for the follow, Rafferty FL. Appreciate you joining us. So, this will also work on your phone. It is incredibly cool, right? I mean, here's a game from the 90s that I used to play. I mean, it's the shareware version, but right, you can play it. It works great. But that's WebAssembly. It's recompiled and it runs in the browser. Edge, the Microsoft cringe is too much. Look, Edge comes with every Windows machine, right? I'm actually running the Edge Canary version. Right? Here it is. Look. Microsoft's been rated as the coolest company for folks to work for in 2019 in the tech industry. Above all those FANG companies. Notice FANG, those were the companies that Wall Street was interested in, that they thought was going to grow. Not one of them has a net value of $1 trillion. They're all being investigated by the federal government in the United States. And college graduates this year would prefer not to work for those folks. They'd prefer to work for Microsoft. The beta did come out for Edge. Absolutely. That's pretty interesting that came out as well. So I think there was an interesting point made here. There was a question about, hey, I don't think the times cross properly here, right? The time that's being presented might not appear here. And look, and to Joseph Scott, look, if there's other products, other operating systems that you prefer to use, that's great. This is what I like to use. I use Firefox for a lot of things also. You could use Visual Studio Code. You can use whatever text editor you'd like. We're programming with .NET here, and we're having a good time. So, to each their own. There's different tools for different folks. These are the ones I like to use. And maybe you'll see something that you might find interesting that you might want to use as well. Yeah, let's hit that network. Let's take a look and see the data that it fetched. Right? I'm going to refresh this so we can see the network request come in. And we can just double check that the times on that. Even if the times are longer than the date range, it should still paint them based on what's coming in here. So here we go. So this is 2019 8/18. Well, wait a sec. There's a problem. This should go from outside, from 8 p.m. here to 8 p.m. there. So if I click over on this one for the 18th, where it actually does cross, it's not showing, it's not loading the data there either. So I've got a couple questions there that don't feel quite right that we're going to need to address. All right, have a good one, Copperbeardy. Great to see you. Yeah, 8 p.m. is outside the range, but it crosses it. You're surprised I haven't turned on the dark theme. Well, the dark theme, I tried turning it on. Excuse me. I tried turning it on, and it right, theme, dark. Right, it doesn't change the theme up here. Yeah, now I've lost all my stuff. So it might be trying to paint this and not hitting it because of the time range for the data that we've submitted. So maybe we're hitting an issue there? I don't know. Hey, Frackbird, good evening. Yes, strange things are afoot.
Oh my.
You like me like this? What did I do? Code Warrior's working on a scheduling app on his stream for employees to log their hours in progress. Oh, like a timesheet app. Right? Is that what you're talking about? Yes, working with dates is very difficult. You like the Atari hat? So our friend Instafluff told us that the underside here, that actually says Atari in Japanese. It's like, oh, okay then. I don't speak Japanese, and I thought the Atari hat was pretty cool, being the old school gamer that I am, and I learned something new. Learn a lot of stuff from Instafluff. I learned the characters for Atari. Lily Hazel with the Instafluff bears. Very nice. What if, just to make sure, to kind of force the issue here, what if in addition to setting time slots with this and the time slots that it came in, just to test to make sure that it's loading, trying to load the data into the user interface, what if we add to that fetched time slots, right? So this is actually, it's an array. It's going to be a pain in the neck. Let's not make it an array. Let's make it a fetch time slots is a task of time slots. Let's do this. Put a parentheses around these things and say to list. So now this is a list, and I can add stuff to the list. So let's say fetch time slots, add, and let's force a new one in there, one that we can control, right? Because we're not. We think there might be an issue with the data entry as well. Yeah, I know, data entry. It's data entry, you know. So let's call this name. Let's call this test time slot. And let's set the start date time equals, type right, Jeff. New date time, 2019. We're going to put this in August. Let's make it August 10th, right? And the hour, let's make the hour 4 p.m., right? 4 p.m., right? And we'll need an end date time, and that end date time is going to be a new date time, 2019, 8/10, and we'll have it go to, there it is, to 5 p.m. And the status is sure. Schedule status available. Okay. So now I've added an extra time slot on there. Let's see if it actually paints that. You don't like that, do you? No. I know. No. Wait a second. Count. That's what I want. There we go. Now your night is Doom 3 in the browser, says New York 167.
Alrighty then.
Have fun with that. Huh? Thinking about this. Doom 3 in a browser next to Twitch and somebody playing Doom 3 in the browser. Deja vu. That'd be cool. Still have your original Atari VCS. Nice, Smab. Respect. That's some respect. 2 Commodore 64s for Genescu. Nice. All right, so there's the 10th. If I click on that one. Ha-ha! Okay, so it's loading it properly. Good. That tells me this one, where the data is actually overnight, right, isn't loading properly, isn't presenting properly. Oh, Dimitri. We'll come back to you, Dimitri. I'm broadcasting right now, but we'll look at this leading up to this week. Sure. All right. Dimitri's trying to get folks to tune in and check out the .NET stand-up on Thursday on the Visual Studio channel. Employee time tracking and business management time analysis. Yeah. It's a very interesting space, right? When you start talking about employees' time, how you schedule their time, and then, oh, I said it.
And then?
How they log their time.
And then?
How they get paid.
And then?
How you expense it.
And then?
I'm not sure what else. Anyway.
And then?
Right! Thank you, Ancient Coder. Just dogpile on there. Okay, so the time for this one isn't presenting properly, which tells me that the calculations to decide how to display it, because the data that was fetched for that wraps around, needs to be tweaked. I think I'm okay with that. Yes! What do we got here? Okay. So that's in the day view view model. I'd like to buy a view, please.
It's alive!
All these views. View model. Okay. So this is the day view. Day view is this one here. So it's deciding whether or not, right? Where is it? For each, yeah, here we go. Item in the time slot collection, where the start date is this date. Yeah. Ooh. There's the problem. It didn't start until 8 p.m., which is outside the view. So if I want it to go overnight into the next one, right, I need to be able to show... Right, this is how it's deciding whether or not to add it or not. Okay. So it does this display item. What is display item? This is a method that says start day view, end day view, and this is where it's actually, this is the thing. Yeah. It's actually start, end. What's it passing in for the start and end? The item start date time and the item end date time. Well, I already know that because it's inside this. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, chat room? I know you are. This is, right? The item itself's. What? The display item is... Right, okay. This isn't on the schedule item. Hey, Cyralash, good to see you. Let me think this through. Hang on. Yes. So maybe instead of where like this, yes, I can simplify and even get rid of this if statement. Yes. If I said if display item, the start is that s dot end date time. Right? Because then that where statement does what that if did. Right? And I'm butchering link there to make that work. But it just might work. Let's see what happens. Maybe it'll work. What about day view, view model, day view factory? Stealthy!
Shut up!
You're killing me there, buddy. Day view, view model, day. Oh my goodness. If I made an application for 3D models, you would have a model view, model, and a model view, view model. That's taking a MVVM. MVVM? VVM? That's going a little far. Alright, so if I try... So the 10th, that works. This one, still no. Does it work over here? Well, it's not right. But it worked. Kinda. That worked. I like that. That, not so much. And I get why. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to punt this. Because most of the things that I'm going to be putting in here don't work like that. That wasn't what I wanted. I didn't want that page. I want this page. So schedule's not saving properly. I can fix that. I need to fix that. But I've got an issue here where day view of a 24-hour or longer event does not show properly. I'm going to open this. I'm going to mark this as a bug. Help wanted if somebody wants to take a shot at this. I'm going to put it in. That's not the right project. Okay. There we go. All right. But what we need to finish is we need to finish the save method, and then we can go back over to the report. MVVM. Yes, that's what I thought, Crows. Yes, yes, yes. Rock Ridge. Rock Ridge. Yes, and we're going to recruit some folks to help us. And I'm not going to go through the recruit speech, okay? Because...
Boom goes the dynamite.
Boom goes the dynamite. You know what I mean? That recruiting... Right, we can recruit folks, and I know I can hear Junie out there say, "Play the recruits, play the recruit audio, play it." I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna just because I know you want to hear it. I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna do it. Okay.
I will rain down an ungodly firestorm upon you.
What? Are you kidding? Jeez, buddy. I'm not gonna do it. Okay. You don't have to get that uptight. All right. Let me go over here. We're going to check out why the schedule isn't saving properly. So when this saves, right, it's sending data over to the server, and the server is this project up here. I didn't want to open that project. Didn't want to open it. And it is I know. It is the schedule controller, and it's updating the schedule right here. And I think we figured out last time, previously, on Fritz and Friends, that our data entry control wasn't grabbing the data properly. Let me see. It is right, our component for date time input. This isn't receiving the data properly. Kizzy! Welcome. Thanks for those 25 bits, and we'll make a donation to Coder Dojo, and there's some more bits. Thank you so much. Throwing them bits. Wow. All right. Thank you, Kizzy. I'm thrilled you decided to share with us. I can see that. Okay. Thank you, Kizzy. Oh my goodness. Okay. I very much appreciate the cheers. And we'll drop those into our code here. I've got to put nothing else matters in here. That's 25, 35, 65. Is that 114? Kizzy. IEE 114. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's see here. So, all right. Kizzy. You've been around here on the system for a while. You'll round it? Okay. Uh, 43, 49, and 41. Right? I'm losing track here because I'm trying to write code. You know what I'm saying? 317. All right. So we got to figure out how this is receiving data and how it's passing it back to it. 322, is that what it looks like? All right, I'll take 322. Yep, that's what it says at the top of the deal there. Okay. All right. So I need to figure out when this is passing data back into the availability view model. And thank you so much, Gizzy. Yes, we will make that donation. So I need to see exactly how it's receiving the data and passing it along into this availability view model when that save button is clicked, right? So I'm going to start, not expand schedule. This is add new schedule item, right? In here at this point, it actually has the information at that point. And we need to take a look and figure out what date has it received there. Thank you for the bits. Rounding that off to an even 350. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to debug C# code in the browser. And we're going to take a look at this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over to the console. Shift-Alt-D. Shift-Alt-D. It's going to trigger an interaction with, well, it's going to give me a little bit of code here I can execute that I can open up Chrome and attach to the debugger and look at exactly what's going on there. So let's log in. Yep, still remembers my login information. And go back to the availability. Crows! Oh my goodness. Thank you very much for those kind 500 bits, and I love the unicorns. Love the unicorns. Alright, so that's there. I can F12 into this. Now check this out. If you haven't seen this before, this is where we're going to have a little bit of fun. No, I don't want to see that. Right? Yeah. So Shift-Alt-D, and this will open the .NET debugger. Okay. Yeah, that looks a little ugly. Right? But I'm now in the .NET debugger, and here is my code that we can look at and start debugging through. Now, what I want to do is I want to look at that availability view model and check this out. I'm seeing C# in the browser, first off, right? That's pretty freaking cool. But I'm going to go down here to add schedule item right here. I'm going to put a breakpoint. I'm going to put one right there. So I'm putting a breakpoint in C# code that's running in the browser. Oh, yeah, look at this. So I'm going to call this test. I don't care. Those two are fine. I just want to see what this looks like. Right, so this is from 820 to 821, 0 to 0. Now, what I should be able to do, right? I should be able to look at the local. Well, I can't see that. Can I go up here? Can I add to the watch? Right, where is it? New schedule item. Not available. Rats! Can I say this new schedule item? Nope, not available. All right. Well, I'm stopped here in the console. Can I inspect new schedule item right here? Right? It's right there. So, right. Let's zoom in a little. Ah! That's a little too zoomed in. Back it up there. Thank you. So can I say new schedule item? Can I get that information? No. Can I say new schedule? No. Okay. I'm trying to inspect, right? I want to see what this thing is. Let me see if I step in, right? So here I am inside new schedule item. I should be able to inspect this. Yeah, the layout doesn't cope with that screen size as well. Right, so I'd love to be able to mouse over these and get, right? I can't. What is start date time? Nope. Nope, doesn't know what it is. Rats. I can't see what these things are here. Alright, we're gonna have to do this old-fashioned way because I can't debug into this. Right? Yeah, that's Chrome. Rats. I was hoping that would really help us, and it's not. So let's do this. Add new schedule item. Let's write it out. Let's just console write line these things. Right? And this is one of the things the .NET team is doing, is they're trying to make it easier for you to debug and build these applications, right? By giving you a great debugger at the same time that they're building the framework. So this is still all in preview, so we're going to see this stuff grow over time. So start date time, and I'll use, where is it? New schedule item dot start date time. Yeah, that should format properly. End date time. Let's put a colon in front of that also. So we'll say new schedule item end date time. Okay. We should be able to see what that is when I hit the save button and dig into it. Try rebooting the browser again. I've noticed a little bug happening on yours. Once you start it, you get all the features. Really? Okay. Eternal Dev Coder says, I'm trying to get my higher-ups to let us rewrite a VB6 app. Yeah, you're going to need to push on them to get that VB6 app rewritten. You may want to check out, is our friend Dee here? No, Dee's not here. Our friend Dee Walsh, you see her sometimes when here in the chat room. She works for a company called Mobilize.net. They have a toolkit that will automatically upgrade VB6 apps to TypeScript and web-based apps. It's pretty impressive what it does. So I'm going to call this test, and let's set this. I'm going to make this, let's just make it 5 in the morning because I am a glutton for punishment. No, we'll make it 10 in the morning. I want to sleep in. And we'll go to 20th, and we'll make this end at, let's make it end at 1 p.m. so that we get a nice block here that happens on the 20th. Add that schedule item, and what did it show in my console? Because it should have written something. There we go. Well, that's not right. That's not right. So that tells me it didn't receive the data properly here. What it has for it literally didn't update and pass back the date time properly into those. So, does that work if you don't have the source? Asks Cyralash. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. That's a really good question, Cyralash. You know what? Do me a favor. Can you drop that question into our Discord? And I will get with the team and get back to you on that. Okay? There's a Discord command you can fire there in the chat room, and you can see how to get back over there. Dude in Basement, love the handle, says maybe the names would be all messed up because it would be all bytecode. Yeah, you're right. You might be right. The names would be messed up. The PDBs, the portable debug files, they have that information in there for what those names should be. But this worries me. This tells me that it's not sending back the date time into the object. So let me go back over to date time input. So this is right when the change handler fires, it's invoking async and saying state has changed. So it's not passing this information back properly at all. Right? You know what I mean? It's a problem. How do I bind that? There is something funky with the binding. I completely agree, Stelzy. It's broken. It's
Wait, Master. It might be dangerous.
not dangerous. It's just not receiving and handling it properly, right? Bind, this is a two-way binding. Two-way meaning that it'll, when we paint it on screen, it'll read the value properly and put it into that input box. But when you change it, it'll write that value properly. So both putting it into the box from our code and receiving the update that a human has put in there, that's the two-way binding. That's what this bind value is doing. And I'm specifying the format here, and it's well, quite frankly, it's not updating this value at all, if I know what it's referring to. Let me look at the availability. Availability's over here, doing the thing. Here it is. So, right, I've got a value deal here, and that's where it's passing in start date time. Start date time, when it's passed like this, is passed by reference. There's two ways to pass data in .NET, by reference and by value. By value is literally August 20th, 2019. That's what's going in there. By reference is actually passing a pointer to where that lives in memory, and that pointer is passed around so that every time you change it, it was August 20th, now it's August 10th. Well, that pointer, the value that that pointer is pointing at is updated, and the reference is passed back, and what this contains now is actually updated with that value. So that's by reference. Thank you for the follow, dude in basement. I appreciate you joining us. Malfunct!
Malfunct just resubscribed for 3 months.
Oh my gosh, Malfunct! Thank you so much for joining us. I'm looking for an appropriate sound effect. I'm looking for an appropriate sound effect to play for Malfunct. Yeah.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Boom goes the dynamite, and Malfunct is here. Ah, see that? Word slip indeed, Junie Von Esch. I didn't mean it. I know I've got the family-friendly flag on, but I didn't mean it. I didn't try. It just kind of popped out there. Oh, no. The gang's all here.
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
And there's DeWritten. There's somebody who I'm not even going to leave. Not even going to go there. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So, this change handler and how this is receiving that value, it's not receiving the value properly out of this text box, right? Input, that's our standard HTML tag that we use to create a text box. And actually, it's called start time. I can call this whatever you want. Right? I could do something like that. It doesn't really matter. Because we're not posting it back anywhere. We're just receiving it. We're doing something with it. I do need some darn Skippy.
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go. Let's look at the Let's look at the docs, right? Because I want to receive that value back. I want to pass it along. The pointer reference stuff reminded Stelzy of C, and suddenly they only see stars.
Eternal Give Coder just resubscribed for 2 months.
Oh my gosh, Eternal Dev Coder, thank you so much for joining us for 2 months. I really appreciate that. And we'll make a donation to Coder Dojo. Thank you very, very much. I'm having a problem. So I need docs, Blazor, bind value, because I need to pass this value back up here, and I gotta see what's going on in that thing. Okay, I don't know if you noticed, but in the chat room just a little bit ago, and I'm being very quiet so nobody hears me, just us here that are watching, okay? Blue Lava was here, all right? Don't tell anyone, but I noticed Blue Lava was here. He didn't say anything. He just kind of snuck in, took a look around, and left. I don't know if I scared him off or something because I was doing Blazor or what, but you know, it's I keep an eye on when that guy pops in. Okay, shh, don't tell him. He's out there on Twitter. Don't tell him that I noticed. I don't want him to get to get all, you know, concerned that we noticed he was here and we didn't say anything. All right, shh, don't tell him. All right. Create and use ASP.NET Core data binding. Yeah. Data Blazor forms and validation. This thing. We're gonna need something like that. We're gonna need something like that at some point. All right. And this input date doesn't really work for us because we need a date and time. So we need a little bit more than that. That's why we created the date time input. There I go back to repeating nouns. Right. You know what we could do? We could cheat. Let's go to github.com, ASP.NET. Let's go find the Blazor source code. Right? Source, where is it? Components. This is Blazor, right? Blazor. Forms components. Let's see if it's in here. I'm looking for the date input. Of course I can't find it. I'm gonna go back up here then and go. Nope. T. Nope. There we go. I'm looking for the date input component. Hey. Wow. No. It is, come on, where is it? It is called input date. Spell it right the first time, Jeff, and you might get it the right file. Input date. There it is. Check that out. So it found the appropriate source code here for me. So I can use the same thing. Oh yes, EcoMath, we're using the source. Use the source, Luke. Use it. No. We are at 74 followers right now. When that number gets to a 00 on the end, 7,400, I'm going to give away another pack of stickers. Emotes, .NET stickers, all kinds of good stuff. So here's what this is doing. It's an input base. Yeah. Build render tree. Oh my gosh. Format value is string. Try value. Huh? So how are they binding to this? How are they? Right? I had to steal stuff from the core source code to get .NET Core to play with Vue. Nice. Let me see. Let's go back up to this. No. Wow. Okay. So maybe we redo. Maybe we redo our component so that it does the same way here. Because see, this only stops at YYMMDD, and we want it to have the entire, the date and time, right? And I should be able to inherit from input base because it's all about that base, Now, why do you need to do that? Try parse date time. That's like built in, you know what I mean? Yes. I don't think it is. Yeah, no trouble. Thank you. Continuing. We could do this. What happens if I copy this in and we update it, right? We enhance it. We make it better. We improve it. We make it stronger. We make it smarter. If I go over to this, right? Add class. Right, if we call this date time input, right, which, okay, it didn't have a cow. That's good. Paste that in, right? Oh, yeah. Okay, we've got that. This is a parameter. Sure. Sure. Fine. I think that just cleared everything up. Culture info. We got to get culture info in here. So now, I mean, really, all that I'm doing differently for mine is that. Thank you for the follow, Bull823. Good old coding virtue, copy and paste stuff from the internet. Well, a little bit. Just a little bit. Right? I'm going to just delete that. Because I'm going to change this to that so that it's the full date time. That might work. Might. I don't know. So if I go back to availability, date time input, right? Date time input, class, right? How did they use it over here? Right, input date at bind dash value, at bind dash value. Yeah, there you go, just like that. Okay. Yeah. Why doesn't it like this one? Found markup element with unexpected name. If this is intended to be a component, use it. Add a at using directive for the namespace. Don't mind if I do. Thank you. So at using, what is it? Fritz, resource management, web client, shared. Did you find it? Did you find it? Force a build. Let's see what that happens. Copying is fine, but copying without understanding is what kills kittens, says Isthan. Yeah, I think you're right. Nope, didn't work. Right. Wait a sec. Look at the hype. 100 sentiment. It was amazing. There should be a thing that goes off that from the bot that when we hit 100 sentiment, like rainbows or something happens in chat in the channel. Or maybe when we hit 0 sentiment, just all of a sudden tacos go flying. That might be fun. Oh, wait a sec. I forgot to rename it. Date time input. Call it my thing, right? Date time input. Go back over here. Tell me that works. Tell me that works. It's still building. Can't be all that bad. Yes! Wouldn't it be great if it actually worked? Like if it actually did the thing. Like me just changing that format string just... In which case... I would want to submit a pull request back to the ASP.NET team that allows you to specify whether it includes time or not. Right, because right now... There's the format. Oh, you know what? Look, type is date. That's not right. We need to change that. Right? It's the wrong type. That's not going to work just yet. Hang on. Stop the press. Back it up. Back it up there, Haas. We need to be on the right branch so I can look back at the code that I just deleted. Oops. Shared datetime input. Right? It's not... It's datetime dash local. That's what I need. There. It might work. Ecometh's video froze at 100 sentiment. No, I can't hold that. I'm not that talented. Come on, you can do it. And I clicked the availability. Where did it go? I broke it. I broke it, didn't Oh, I broke it. Oh my gosh, I broke it. Wow. Look at this. Invalid operation exception. Date time input requires a value for the value expression parameter. Normally this value is provided automatically.
Oh my.
When using bind-value. Okay, so value expression parameter. Value expression. Oh! Well, I'm not binding here, right? I did this goofy value equals, right? So if I do @bind dash value, right? And I do the same deal here, @bind value. That should do it. So what's the plan for Thursday's stream, says EcoMath. We are going to have, so let me bring that up. Thursday, my guest will be Matt Byers from Raygun. We're going to talk about adding some monitoring, adding some application management features into this. Did I break it? Unable to connect to web server. Is it still running? No. Rebuild. Try that again. There it goes. I'm gonna be talking to Matt tomorrow, do our final tech check, make sure everything's set up right. And I'd like to see what we can do if we hooked Raygun up to this. Look at that! That worked. And why is test out here at 8 p.m.? Oh, because I saved the data wrong. Right? Okay, so now let's try this going from 6 a.m. No, not at 6 a.m. Sleep in. 10 a.m. Right? The 20th. And we'll have this go to noon. Add new schedule item. Now let's see what it did there. 10 a.m. to noon. Hey, it worked! So now, since I saved that, right? This is on the 20th of these 2 days, right? So it didn't reload the schedule. That's a different problem. That's a different problem. We got another problem. Okay, it didn't save it. It didn't actually save it. Where did it go? 3 time slots. Yeah. Where did it go? We need to make mini profiler work with Blazor. Nick Craver is here. Oh my goodness. Woo! Good to see you, Nick. For those of you that don't know, Mini Profiler is a great app that'll let you see queries going back and forth to the server. The database server. The more you know. All right. Did I just see our friend JAF1021 wander in? Hello, hello. Good to see you. There it is. It saved the wrong time. Oh, wait, that's the previous one that I tried to save. Well, that's okay. It's the wrong one. On purpose? All right, let's do this. I'm going to open my database browser. Good to see you, JAF1021. Thanks so much for tuning in. For those of you that don't know, that's Mrs. No, that's Mama C# Fritz. Mrs. C# Fritz is my wife, and she's not here. She's out at work right now. All right, so I'm looking here. I'm going to go grab the schedule items. Browse the table. See, there's my data actually in the database on disk. And delete those records. Not anymore. Save those changes? You betcha. Okay. So if I reload the page again, there should be nothing that pops up in my schedule. There. Oh, that's the one that I force in, right? That's the one that I faked in here. So if we call this now test item, right? And if we make this for no, wait a sec. 20th, and we'll go at 10 a.m. Like I said, I like to sleep in. And we'll have this go till noon. Add that. Now, I think it did something. Oh, and I didn't track my network activity, so I can't see if it actually did something. Rats. Rats! Foiled again! I'll get those crazy kids in that dog, too. Oh, it's there. I put it in for the 20th. There's the 20th. But did it? Yep, there it is. Okay, so it's saved properly, but it didn't clear out and refresh the user interface with the new codes. So, we really need to teach JAF 1021 how to use emotes. So there's the little smiley face. It's like at the bottom, the right side of the text box. Touch that and you'll see all the emotes that you can use. And there's some really great ones in there that I made. That your favorite son made for you. True story. I had works on my machine. There's the gritties. Look at that. I had a coffee mug made with the Works on My Machine logo that we have around here. I gave one of those to my parents, and phone cases made for each of their phones, each of my parents' phones with my logo on it, and gave them some stickers to. I haven't seen my nephews in a while, but I need to give them a bunch of stickers to play with. All right, so it is saving properly. I wanted to get to refresh properly. Look, today is tracking with the UTC time. The proper time zone, isn't it? I know our friends in Europe that are going to say, yeah, it's the proper time zone, all right. Not you Americans in this Eastern time zone. So I need to have it refresh this properly. Like, after you save, go reload the time slots and repaint it, right? See that? All the European folks are laughing at me now. Look at this. I'm going to get it now, especially the folks in the UK. Okay, so on the availability view model, right, when I save, right, schedule updated, I should reload, well, it resets the schedule item, right? I think it cleared this stuff out. And then we should do it live! No, not do it live. We should reload the time slots for that. Well, the time, right? The time slots for this are, right, I added the new schedule item, schedule updated, right, which is, right, does this. Before I call that schedule updated, I think I want to reload the time slots. You know? Where is it? Expand schedule. I think I want to call this again to go get them again. Which, for right now, I'm okay with. It's going to be a little bit of extra traffic back and forth to the server. And we could probably short circuit that a little bit. But just to get it working, right? I mean, that's an area for optimization, and I don't want to prematurely optimize. Because perfect is the enemy of good enough, and I need good enough at this point. So, all right, there's the test item that we have there. So let's call this test item 2. And we'll put this on the 20th, and let's make this sometime in the afternoon. Let's make it 3 p.m., right? And we'll put this on the 20th also, and we'll have this go to 5 p.m., right? Like that. Let's see what happens. Yes! It works. It works. Oh my gosh. Woo! Big woo. You know? Oh my gosh. Here, let me find some of this.
You're amazing. You figured this all out already.
That's right. Listen to your German terrorist friends when you're watching Die Hard. No. Right?
Boom goes the dynamite.
That's right.
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
No idea what you're dealing with. I'm just gonna fire all the things here. Yeah? Magical lightning. Explosions.
Bazinga.
I have a bazinga. You were here when it happened. Should the end time update the date when the start time is set? That would be handy, Cyberlash. That's not a bad idea. That, right, if the start time is set for a specific, and I don't like that these are 2 different days. I'd like them to be the same day. But when you choose a day, right, it'd be nice if the end time was like half an hour after the start time, like if it defaulted like that. That'd be handy. That'd be nice. Okay, so those 2 work. Okay, and we're probably going to need some edit buttons, a plus minus thing over here to work with those. I'm not too concerned with that yet. I need to do the same thing over here. Thank you for the follow, E. Fleming 969. Appreciate you joining us. Yeah, we're going to need to clean this one up too. It is after 8 o'clock my time. And I haven't had dinner yet. So we should do something about that. It's after 2 a.m. Woo! We're going to be back tomorrow. So you know what? I'm going to park this right now. And I want to come back and fix these recurring schedule fields tomorrow. What do you think? 1 a.m. where Ancient Coder is. Yeah. I think we're going to park what we're working on. Because I'll be back again in less than 14 hours. 14 hours? Yeah, that's about right. So let's clean up. Let's commit our code here. Yep. All right. I'm going to add that shared file for the date time input because we got that working. And we're going to commit all of our other files. We're going to say fixed date saving and refresh of a schedule item. Fantastic. I'm going to sign my commit because that's what I do because I'm a responsible developer who wants to sign off and show exactly what I'm responsible for, right? So I will key in my password. I'm going to push that. I'm not going to push it out to the shared repository yet. I'm going to wait till I get everything fixed and working properly here together. Cool. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. It was great to see you. See that? You scared off JAF 1021, everybody. I tell you. All right, let's see who's streaming right now. We can send a raid their way. Maybe that might be a good one. Ooh, look at that one. Look who's starting. We could do that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm seeing our friend Cinnabar just started. I haven't rated Cinnabar, and I think he's due. Let's put the raid call out there. And I'm working on that layout. If you're a subscriber, grab that first line out of the chat room. Copy it onto your clipboard and get ready. We're going to go raid Cinnabar. If you're not, there it is. If you're not a subscriber, that's okay. Grab the second line, copy it onto your clipboard. We're going to go over, we're going to say hello to our friend. Oh yes, Fava sees it coming. Here it comes. We are going to raid Cinnabar. I'm not sure what he's working on. He's literally just starting. We're going to get over there. We are going to plunder and have a good time. Cinnabar is a chainmail artist. He's either putting together and making things with chainmail, or sometimes he anodizes titanium, putting different designs on it and coloring things using chemistry. And he's got his generic intro message up right now, but he's going to be starting in just a few seconds. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, 1400 UTC. He's Cinnabar is an anodizing wizard. Thanks for pointing that out, Svava. You are darn skippy right. All right, this video, like my other videos, will be archived and available over on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/C#Fritz. I will see you tomorrow, everybody. Is my closing screen ready? Is that ready? Sometimes it isn't ready. Can we get the closing screen ready? It's ready. All right. Take care, everybody. Say hi to Cinnabar for me. See ya.